And games, to me, seem to really be the oldest form of human interactive design. Games have been played arguably since before we were even human. There are other species that play games. We have conceivably been playing games literally from the moment Homo sapiens have existed. To me, to study that really felt like a way to access interactive design on a really fundamental level.
So, okay, so now you go and study programming to basically try to enhance the way that you can tell stories from a production media point of view, right? How do you end up in the NYU Game Center? What makes the connections between programming and games at that time?
So to me, the thing that made those engineered pieces of storytelling exciting was that you interacted with them in a new way. They asked something of you as a viewer that other pieces of media did not, more linear or passive pieces of media that you're just consuming by reading or watching. These you had to interact with in some way. You had to play or click or explore. To me, that was a fundamentally different type of communicating to an audience than linear storytelling was. I felt pretty confident at that point in my career that I could faithfully produce a piece of linear content. I could tell a story from beginning to end in a way that would, generally speaking, be well structured and engaging to an audience, at least an American audience. I did not know how to create a piece of interactive storytelling. I did not have the confidence or the language to do that. So I asked myself, what type of program could I go to that would teach me those things? So I applied. At the time when I applied to grad school, I was deeply considering 3 programs. I wound up applying to 2 and having to choose between those as to which I would go to. The first I was interested in was the MIT Media Lab, like the Hogwarts of technology. They just like do like really weird, awesome, cool, interactive stuff. And then I also was super into the NYU ITP program, which is very similar to the MIT Media Lab in that it's kind of an open arts, interdisciplinary, technology focused program where you can kind of build whatever you want. At the Game Center, there's a large portion of courses that everyone is required to take. It's a much more on the rails education. And I knew that I responded to that type of education really well for my undergraduate experience. So I really liked that. And I also understood from my very classical undergraduate liberal arts education that I responded really well to learning the super fundamentals of things. Like I studied ancient philosophy and logic, basically. And games to me seemed at the time, and I still believe this, to really be the oldest form of human interactive design. I mean, games have been played arguably since before we were even human. There are other species that play games. So we have conceivably been playing games literally from the moment Homo sapiens have existed. So to me, to study that really felt like a way to access interactive design on a really fundamental level. And that was my chief motivation for going there.
Yeah, that's very deep. I mean, I recently got into D&D. And you know, I also know that you're fascinated with role playing games as well. I was looking at some of your portfolio, and we can talk about that. But finish the story. I was super excited to buy my first dice, right? My first D20s, my first set of dice, and to my wife's credit, she got me like these beautiful fucking dice, dude. Like, and I'm like, I kept looking at them and thinking like, dude, these are like some really cool items. And like, and then I take the D6, which is like a classic 6-sided die. And then I'm like looking at it and it's like, dude, this fucking thing goes way back, right? It goes like,
yeah,
fucking
so they were
3000 BC.
From bones.
Yeah, exactly.
Even earlier.